Wow, guys, round of applause again for Stormtroopers. Some of the cast that you just saw there, so please give a warm round of applause to firstly Carolyn, Bracken. Micheal Fitzgerald, ladies and gentlemen. Did you enjoy that, guys? Pretty cool, eh? For me, it was pretty amazing to see. I'm going to stand to the side here, guys. So for me, it was fantastic to see such a brilliant production made by Irish people. The first time I watched it, Micheal, I didn't know that it was Irish made.
Yeah, Irish made. I don't know what you guys, but I'm sick about movies about drug dealers in Dublin. I think there's so much more we can make in this country, like, and it's the imagination is limitless. You know? So what we want to do is try something different. We wanted to humanise the Stormtroopers, and I think Carolyn and Bracken did a great job of that. Just when it's like see things through their eyes. We also want to show off the locations that we have in Ireland, like all the bits and pieces, materials, they're all there. Just got a way to make the movies and just use our imaginations.
Yeah, you wouldn't know he's from Cork, Micheal and I just found outside that we both from the same town originally, Cork, which is pretty cool. And a lot of the film was shot in that area, Micheal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, he moved out, I was evicted. But, so we shot in really cool locations. We shot in the Maritime College in Cork, which gave you that cool at internal. We also shot in Goat Island, which was in Ardmore, West Waterford. That's almost like a Dragonstone Beach in Game of Thrones, you know. We were pretty lucky, like, we got into Micheal Cave. No one gets to film in Micheal Cave. But we got in there. It was pretty cool because we've just done that beach scene with our gracious wing and bean and the heavy machine gun, giving the socks against the AT-AT. So we closed the deal for Micheal Cave because we had that MG42 on loan from the Irish Military War Museum. So I called up to Micheal Cave and goes, yeah, do you remember we called up last week looking to film your cave? Yeah. Come up to the back of the bed. So he took one look at the MG42 and goes, you guys can film here anytime.
Can you tell us a bit more about developing the film, Micheal? Because originally you were in Australia quite a while back and you made an episode 1 of this kind of story.
Yeah, so look, we tried out the first episode in the pinnacles in the desert in Western Australia. That was pretty cool. So basically we shot in 40 degrees heat.
In those suits?
In full, well, we had one suit, but we filmed me with 3 different variations of the suit, just to flush out the cast and crew, you know. And then we finished it in the back of a tank in Slane.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. So all those lessons we learned, we put into this episode. I learned I needed extra talent here. I needed to back up of post-production. And also, as we mentioned, Dab at the Hut here as well, website. So we've got a lot of support from boutique movie review sites and the like. So it's all about putting those blocks together, learning, going again, doing better.
Can you talk to us a little bit more how you found the cast, how you found the guys to get involved with the project?
Yeah, look, I'm really proud that I found these guys here. I suppose like Carolyn is an outstanding Irish on stage and screen actress. Peter does a lot of horror movies around Eastern Europe. The nicest guy you can meet, but you say actually turns into a complete psycho. And Clancy is a little bit embarrassing because actually Clancy was up for one of the Stormtrooper parts and she auditioned really well, but I just couldn't fit her in. Like, some people are an amazing actress, but sometimes you just can't fit them into what you want. But then this red role developed. She was perfect for it. It just goes to show, like, you try for one thing.
Absolutely,
you try for one thing.
Yeah.
And something else happens just because you tried your best. And that's what we want to do. We just want to showcase these people. Like, cause, yeah, I want to see more of Carolyn. I want to see more of Peter. I've seen enough of Will. But yeah.
Carolyn, congratulations, because a round of applause for Carolyn, who's recently just been cast in a new BBC drama series called The Dublin Murders, which is up and coming. It's going to be shooting in the next couple of months, isn't that right? Round of applause. Fantastic news to see the stuff like that. You can move on to stuff like that. But how did you find shooting in the suits? How was? I mean, is it a very different way of acting? There's a lot of things that are going on that aren't going to happen on the day, and Will is going to add them on in post. How did you find the experience?
Oh, I loved it, but I hadn't anticipated that the suits would be like another character in themselves. The day before we first shot, Micheal introduced us to all of our suits, and we thought it was going to be fairly straightforward to get them on. I'd say on the day of the shoot, we had about 10 people from the 501st legion around us, dressing us and trying to help us and stuff like that. And yeah, you can't pee easily, and then
You're not getting a colostomy bag or something. Sorry.
they didn't facilitate that. It was very
No budget, we couldn't afford a colostomy bag.
And what about the acting with, again, okay, the suit is going to be one thing that's going to inhibit you a small bit, you're going to have to get used to that, but stuff like having to, like shooting the guns, all that stuff has been added in post. How did you find that kind of experience?
Well, it was lovely because, you know, a lot of the time when you're creating a character, you don't really have a lot you don't usually have a lot of props or costume to kind of get you into that role, but as soon as the Stormtrooper outfit goes on, and you just start feeling yourself getting into it very, very quickly, so it's quite an easy transition. You start feeling a bit badass, and you're kind of ready to go. Yeah. So it's you know, in terms of getting into it, that costume was great. You can kind of get into it much quicker then. Yeah. And then the helmet goes on, and it's just a different story.
And Micheal, what's he like to work with?
Terrible.
Right.
Nightmare. No, he's great. Like it's lovely to have a director who's collaborative and who has his own very, very certain ideas about things, because then you feel in very safe hands, but that you also have a bit of a green light to be able to offer anything, or to say, right, this may not feel right, or could we try this? And having a kind of a healthy balance of that is brilliant. So you feel in very safe hands, but you don't feel as if you can't, you know, communicate with him, which is great. He's great. You're a bit of a character, Micheal, as well, because I found out there that you're also a race car driver as well.
Yeah, I do anything for attention. Look, I've tried a lot of things. I love racing. I raced in Western Australia,
right,
UK and Ireland. I got beaten by hot guns on the way up, and I got beaten by old dogs on the way down. But in fairness, I held my own. I was actually really good at not crashing. So I picked up all my championship points. But like the racing, just like the film, it's about passion. We all have these passions, ideas. You see everyone do a Comic Con, everyone's in cosplay, and there's like detail and everything's fantastic. Like, it gets jammed.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's cool, we have fun. So it'd just be great to see more Irish sci-fi, because we have all the talent, we have all the ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Where did filmmaking start for you? You work as an engineer, don't you?
Yeah.
So you did the race car driving, and you're a filmmaker as well. Where did filmmaking start
I did
for you?
bungee jumping cairns and looked good. I ran off the roof, like in the bungee collar, and I went, I could do this, totally.
And so you just bungee jumped and thought you could filmmake, is that?
That's exactly how we're going.
Really nice.
Wait for someone to pull back the core going, you're going too far with this.
Yeah, we were chatting about it outside. You were very interested in your approach to the filmmaking thing was, it is a collaborative thing, but you wouldn't work with that many directors who are saying, I'm hiring the talent and we're all going to get together, and you're pushing the ball forward, but kind of like you're letting people, letting their talent shine as such.
Yeah, I think the trick, we were very lucky. We had William Bean Dog Day. We had people who acted their part in the box. We also had people like Matthew Crane, director of photography. We had Stephen Wrigley and Carolyn Tracy, ADs. So they kind of knew what they were doing. So what I tried to do was give them the organisation's vision, what we wanted, give them the tools that we need, and where Matthew wanted to do something, give them that box. You know. So like sometimes, like a great saying, like a rising tide floats all boats. Sometimes you can collaborate and learn together. It's just that cooperation, I think, is pretty cool.
Peter, fantastic acting. You're fantastic acting with great presence on screen. You interestingly started acting working on Game of Thrones, isn't that right?
Yeah, I was on Game of Thrones, but I was just a feature
Yeah.
Get quite a bit of camera time. But it was a thing that just gave me the buzz for working in film, because I'd never really considered it a great deal.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even my suggestion when I applied for it.
Right.
My cousin, he says, you're good at horse riding and everything else. Why did you apply for some of this?
Yeah.
So my cousin Gary, I think, am I doing anything?
Yeah. And how did you find working this project? In particular, what stood out to me, Peter, was your leather trousers. I thought that like the Stormtrooper costumes might have been warm, but I'd say they were sweaty as well.
Yeah.
Don't run on photo shoots. Of course you don't.
You're really rocking. Were you the Rolling Stones?
No.
Fantastic. So did you enjoy working on the project?
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. It was strange. I was just called out of the blue. Whenever somebody says like a short film, you're not really sure what level it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I was dumbfounded how able and skilled everybody was.
Yeah.
From the first day to the last, everybody was pulling together.
He cut out the door 4 times.
Wow.
4 times.
That's dedication. Fair play.
I'm staying awake on the motorways was the hardest
Good
thing.
man. Fair play.
4 hours. It was well worth it.
Cool man.
He was pretty cool. He had his presence, like, you know, really jovial, genuine, but you would have been in a confrontation situation. He was still, so, oh God, this ain't action. But, pretty cool guy.
Fantastic. The thing that took me aback when I first saw it there a few days ago was the production values for it, and I think a big shout out to William Bean, who's down the end there, who's on the visual effects. Outside, the film was shot a year ago. For me, it's a quick turnaround to be out and to be ready to be shown up. But you were saying there's a lot of work that gone into. Can you talk to me a bit more about some of the challenges that you had? You were talking about the drone, for example, and having to get rid of certain things with that challenge, for example. Have you got a mic there, Carolyn?
Well, yeah, I guess it was a year ago since Micheal came to us to actually do all the special effects.
Right.
It was work here and there, and we actually did some filming as well. A few pickup shots, I think. But yeah, you came to us with a lot of challenges, and I have to apologise that we couldn't realise all your crazy ideas.
No, we had crazy ideas, like, you know, 2 at-ats became 1. Unfortunately, we actually had to kill off Will early in the film. He was on the tripod, you know, he was a heavy machine gunner.
I had to go and fly the drone, basically. So we'd actually get some footage in the can. But
thought they were pretty cool, like they just come off post-production on Ed Sheeran's Songwriter. We went to Berlin and we went to Tribeca with it.
yeah, so we're a small production company in Cork, and we're used to mostly doing promotional and advertising kind of material. And there's one example where we did some social media content for Star Wars Day, which involved a Millennium Falcon landing in our car park.
As you do.
And obviously we saw that, and that's, I guess, when we started
We
talking.
all released Star Wars fan film on the same day.
Yeah, and then we're like, geez, we're getting some good views. Holy shit, who's this guy? What's he doing in our chair? And then, who knew we'd be making a film together?
Yeah. I don't really, because I thought they need, I literally remember that, they were really good. Really good. Billy Cummings and Chris Buckley and Owen Devlin. So serious how they're like, and you go in there and it's, I'd say our biggest stress is about copying it.
You make me blush.
All the stuff is online, but you can watch the film on stormtroopers.com, isn't that right? William Company is dogmedia.com as well, online as well, so you go check out the work that those guys do as well. Clancy, fantastic performance. You are now, interestingly, living in Berlin and studying physical theatre.
I am, yeah, you know, to pay the bills and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of my big role, my first big role that I've ever landed.
Uh-huh.
And it's a great role. It's an opportunity to be a baddie. Well, you don't know if she is a baddie or a goodie.
That's true, yeah.
But an opportunity to just play someone that's like badass, and it's a woman as well, so it's, you know, it's even better, it's even more juicier. And Michael was really great with her allowing me to do whatever I really wanted to do with her.
How did you find doing a scene where you got to kill somebody, basically?
I really enjoyed it.
And naturally, though.
It was great. I mean, I had to like make sure that I didn't actually puncture Peter with the screwdriver.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, so it had to be choreographed a little bit.
Right.
So
A little bit.
Just a little bit. You want it to be authentic.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So yeah, that was good. He
Fantastic.
gave his life into my hands.
You're
Yeah, I know, right?
You still have your kidneys.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Guys, as I said before, Michael is down the side. Put your hand up now if you've got any questions. We've got loads of questions. Michael, if you want to start off with the first one here, we've got a chap in the front row here.
Yeah, of course. Everybody who asks a question gets a little trinket as well, and don't be starstruck. I know we're speaking line.
Michael was also in the movie as well. He's got an amazing
The
cheekbones.
Academy have not been in contact with me yet, for God's sake. So,
I just want to know how long it took to write, film, and produce and release it.
We started with a script in 2016. So we had a script, most stuff on the media, and then we started researching locations, and then casting started in 2017. We put a line in locations down in the line stage, right? And then we were always going from there. So beginning to end, started 1st of April, first day of filming, finished in first weekend in November filming. Some of the lads from 501st were walking through the surf on a Sunday morning in November. It was actually beautiful. So all up, I'd say, a year.
And the goal was always to launch it on Star Wars Day,
Yeah.
Is that May the 4th?
Yeah.
On my
Star Wars Day.
Cool, we got another question here in the front row.
okay, you're in front row. What's your name, young man?
Gary O'Toole from the Irish Star Wars podcast, Planet the Hut. Micheal, first of all, thank you for allowing us to see the movie ahead of time. That's a bit of tidbits you've given us. My question to you is, when you look at this movie as an overall package, there's so many subtle nuances and inspirations that appear to come from the script. Particularly the beach scene is reminiscent of the Scarif beach scene in Rogue One. I know we've talked about some of the inspirations you had behind the movie, but could you tell us about perhaps your early concept of the script versus what came in the final development? Was there much change to it, or was there anything in particular that had influenced you throughout that process?
Sure. It was funny you should say Rogue One, because we had the script written and the Rogue One was coming out. We saw this big Scarif scene in Rogue One and we thought, oh fuck, they're going to do it. And it didn't. And it was so frustrating because I love Rogue One. And Solo was great too. But walking through Heathrow and Gatwick Airport, it was wall-to-wall Stormtroopers walking through the surf. We never got to see that in the movie. We were always going to do it anyway. So I suppose we did kind of take a little bit of poetic license with some extra shots walking through the surf. But it looked awesome. It looked really well. The nuances then, as you said, were about the locations and the costumes doing the work and the actors. The CGI was just a balance to it. We weren't overly dependent on it. It was an add-on, you know. So those nuances is kind of letting everything work together. But again, it is just like that in the hall. It is like the boutique podcasts. We are actually connecting with real genuine fans and audiences, you know. And the feedback has been really good.
Cool. Michael, have you got another maybe one behind you? Or next to
So
the
you guy here is just up the Stormtrooper, so
Planning on making a sequel?
Are you planning on making a sequel, Micheal?
Okay, we got a script written. There it is.
Exciting, cool.
Thanks, Kate. I was too afraid to ask.
George, we get the shout when we're filming the sequel if you're free. So, hi there. What's your name? Eva. So, what's your question?
How many people were involved in the project with like script writing and CGI and the costumes?
I say about 50 of them. You add up everyone's had a part, or it's now been like these awesome stars on stage. We had people hauling boxes of beach. One of the main reasons we had to go back to the filming day on the beach was that the tide started coming in the first day. It was a tidal beach. But everyone had a part. We had costume people, we had hair and makeup. Hair and makeup was awesome. Hair and makeup actually turns extras into real absolute thrivers. To go in the wardrobe and come up with face done up, So about 50 all up, not all the time. But yeah, it's cool.
What about some of you younger guys? Would you like to be involved in making something like that? Would you like to act in something like that? There you go, Micheal might write some.
The best thing to say is keep experimenting. Experiment. Don't be afraid to put it out there, and always do your best with what you can.
I just interject there, just one of the things that I found about Micheal is he's a great example of if you've got something in your head that you really want to do, you'll move mountains to do it. And he's a good example of that, because it just started so grassroots and self-funded and everything, and he just worked so hard at making this to where it is today. And I didn't realise when he signed up to the project that it would take the legs that it has, but he was just a man who has a huge amount of discipline and a huge amount of foresight, and it's just a great example. It's a great example for young people who are interested in this type of area of work, that if you really work hard and you have something in your head, he's a great example of that it can be done, you know?
On that, for the acting part and so like for young people who are looking to get into acting, how did you start out in acting?
Well, I started in stage from a very young age, and did take a break for a little while into my young adulthood, but at the end of the day, I tried to get the real job as it's put, but yeah, didn't have that fire in my belly. So I went back and I retrained in my late 20s, and I have a similar ethic to Micheal, because if you're in this line of work, there really is no option but to give it absolutely everything. Work really hard for yourself, and ruthlessness in a nice way. Perseverance. Just if it's something that you want and it's something that is going to give you that belly fire, you just do anything that you can to do it. And it's that perseverance that will follow through with the rest of what you want to do. So as long as you have that perseverance and that drive, you will figure out a way of making it. And yeah, that's the kind of, the emotional part of it, but the literally is training, finding as many resources as you can, networking.
And sometimes it's okay, as you were saying, to take a break and you can do something else for a while and come back again if that's what you feel at the time as well.
Yeah, sometimes I think when it comes to jobs like they say an actor or something that's quite creative but may not be entirely lucrative at the best of times, because it's seasonal, you're not always working. It can be very easy to go with plan B and go into something else that you might have an interest in. But and it's just part of life, it's part of the journey. But if that belly fire is still there with something that you want to do, that may not be the path most chosen. If you can feel in your gut, you can follow it and just work your bloody ass off.
I'm going to open it up to the phone, Michael. I've got loads of questions.
That was a crappy motivation speech by Carolyn. I want to get it framed and put it on the wall. So. Hi there.
Hi everyone, great job on the movie. Just a question for Micheal concerning the trailer, because I didn't even have on it for once. Why the choice of All Apologies by Nirvana and white female vocals as well?
Yeah, I suppose that was, I wasn't trying to beat up any Nirvana fans. But I just thought that Nirvana and the All Apologies song, the lyrics was fantastic. We wanted to portray a new point of view. We had Joe here, who's a fellow extra in Game of Thrones with me, and we shared Carolyn down to Belfast for the last 4 or 5 months in the winter. And he's a great musician, and he recorded that version with a lady voice overnight for the trailer. So it was done literally overnight. He was watching Avengers in Cork at the time. He didn't bother to listen to it going, yeah, change in, yeah, okay, go. But it was great. So it was a risk, and I was really happy with it. But that's what we wanted to do with the film, just try something new, try something different. We look downstairs, everything's different. We walk back out to the normal street. There is magic here, we just have to drive on and do the best we can to make it.
Couple of questions there, Michael?
Yeah, the two little barrels here. Hi guys, what's your question?
What was your favourite part of the movie to film?
Favourite part of the movie, kind of notes on what I said earlier, was when the toys start coming in and the ammo boxes start floating out. The ammo boxes. But probably Coral, we didn't leave anything behind on the beach. It was pretty cool.
Cool. I got one question over here from this gentleman.
Thank you. When it came to you adapting
adapting the scripts. For your pre-visualization, would you have done storyboards or would you have a different method?
Storyboards, definitely. With William and myself.
Yeah, we would have, from the script, we would have shot listed everything, and we would have known how many shots we would need for special effects and all that. And then storyboarded all those action sequences.
Going back, we had all the footage shot, going back and storyboarding again to see what shots would work, what we had, and then to line up what stuff we had to go film that we were missing. So, pretty thorough that way. 2 weekends after Christmas, fine-tuning it.
The edit, yeah.
That was lots of pizza.
We tightened it up.
Really good, eh?
Michael has another one down there.
One down here in the aisle, command the temper, please.
Hi, my name is Dylan, and before I ask my question, I just wanted to say that I agree with you about what you said earlier on about films being shot in Ireland about drugs and about drug dealers and people being killed. I mean, people do get kind of sick of them, and I just think that it was great that you shot this Star Wars film. Because it leaves people wanting more, and there's such a big fan base, and there is a lot of imagination in it.
Good question. You're absolutely right. The attention is huge. Absolutely. You just say Game of Thrones like that, you know, it's fantasy, but like it's big scale stuff. All that big scale stuff would export well. Now, I mean, being fair to the crime dramas, a lot of them are actually very good. And a lot of Irish talent actually develop a lot of character nuance. There's a lot of good stuff in it. But I suppose, just like the Young Offenders set in Cork, the fact that it was in Cork was something new. And it gave it a magic and a charm. You know, so we can actually take stories that we already know, but just go somewhere different with them. And then we come back to Dublin and be like, oh, that's awesome, we haven't seen that in a while. But like, and all it is an hour and more away. We can be anywhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And so my question is that the stormtrooper costumes, were they heavy?
Oh, yeah.
They were a bit heavy. No, they weren't too bad. If you're in them for the day and there's and there's not the ability to kind of sit down or, as I said, and stuff like that, they can weigh a little bit. But definitely, I think a lot lighter than you might think. I think they're heavier than they look heavier than they actually are. They're probably better.
Well, the reality is they're completely practical. Despite the units, like not wear armor for war, but they look great and they look great on camera.
Would you say that they're more lighter than an astronaut's costume?